Green Day, Time of Your Life on Indie88. I've got a special, we'll say hump day treat for you right now in the studio. Bedouin Soundclash are here. I have Jay and Eon. Hey, guys.
Yeah, hello.
Thanks so much for coming to the studio. I know that, hold on, Jay, you live in Vancouver right now, right?
I live in Victoria.
In Victoria, sorry. And Eon, you're here in Toronto.
Yeah, in Pickering, actually, but yeah, Toronto.
So you guys are doing like a long distance band? Is that what's happening right now?
We've been doing it for a long time.
That's true.
Wow. How does that work?
Takes a lot of effort, lots of good communication.
Yeah. Like, I can't imagine, but you guys have been together for so long, so you're professionals at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's not hard to do now, right?
Trust. Yeah, exactly.
It's
I guess we're professionals, though.
you are.
Do not suggest it to amateurs. Do not try to do long distance if you're an amateur.
Yeah, professional musicians you are.
No, we are professionals, I guess. Yeah, no, we do. We've been doing it for a while. But yeah, we just send tracks back and forth. Eon came out to Victoria for 6 months though, during the pandemic, and which is when we wrote this record that we just put out. So we still do spend time together and see each other.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Now, we'll talk about the new record in a second, but I want to tell you that back in 2006, I interviewed you guys at Fanshawe College. I was in the radio broadcasting program, and you guys were like big. You were touring. It was like you know what I mean? It was like a big time for you guys, and you did a show at Fanshawe.
Yeah.
And one of the students was picked to interview you, and it was me, and I did this interview with you guys. I'm like, would you even remember that like we've come full circle now? It's been how many years?
That's
like
amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
I remember being so nervous. It was horrible.
Oh,
That's
man.
probably why you don't remember.
No, you know what? Who's the guy who booked all the shows at Fanshawe? Because he supported us so much. Was it Mark?
I'm trying to remember.
I feel like I should know this,
You
and I
should
don't.
know this.
I should.
Anyways, because we used to come to Fanshawe all the time when we were first starting, like 2002 to 2004.
Yes.
So, anyways, of course I remember. Of course I remember that interview.
That's what I was waiting
for. And you know what?
for.
I'm so happy. Look at all the success you've had. And I'm not going to take credit for that. But I will say that it is fantastic to see how we both, from that interview, found our way.
And have grown.
We're both, I would consider us both professionals.
It's like, this is insane.
This
is crazy. So then that happens, and then you guys didn't do anything for how many? Like it was a while. It was a little hiatus there. Like what, 9 years? Something like that?
Kind of like maybe 5-ish.
Okay. It felt longer.
Stuff. Yeah, I mean, before we put out an album, I guess it was about 9 years. But we started working on stuff a little bit sooner than that. So yeah.
And when you were apart, were you like, we need to get back together and do some more music? Like, what happened there? Well, I have to ask the question.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. We always still talked. Like we didn't stop because we didn't enjoy.
There's no bad blood.
There's no bad blood at all. I think it was just time for us to stop. And we're not the type of band that we didn't say, hey, we're stopping, we're going on hiatus. We just sort of stopped playing. And then I did a few other projects. We all did stuff, and eventually, the only time we were going to make a record is if we have something that we want to say together.
Yeah.
We know we didn't want to just put out a record for the sake of it. So in 2015 we did the record with Preservation Hall Jazz Band down in New Orleans, and it was something where we were like, hey, we actually want to make a Bedouin record, because once you've been doing it for like 10 years, it starts. I always say a band's a bit like a flower. You can't when it's in bloom, but you can't like force it. You have to wait for it to
I like that analogy.
Yeah, and you can tell that's the thing we didn't want to do, is be like. Force something and make a record that we didn't feel strongly should be part of our catalog.
Right.
So, anyway.
Well, We Will Meet in a Hurricane is so good.
Thank you.
Did you guys make that you just said you made it during the pandemic in 2020. So what does this mean to you guys, this album? I mean, I know that's a big question, but what does it mean to you?
I mean, I guess, sure. I mean, I guess to me, like it kind of means that, well, one, we still feel strongly that we have something that we want to say, and based on the response, it feels like people still are interested in hearing that, which is awesome, which gives us, life to continue doing what we're doing as well. And yeah, it's been, the pandemic's been a tricky period for a lot of people, especially musicians. So this album also means a little bit of resilience, I'd say, like in terms of just being able to get it done in a time that was difficult and feeling proud about it and excited to share it with everyone. So yeah, that's what I'd say about it.
It's so great because you have your sound still, It's like it's evolved, but it's still you. And you guys do reference, you have a song that's named after my daughter. So thanks for doing that because I know you did Margie.
Ah,
really?
Yeah. Well, her name's Margot, but we call her Margie.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, I'm listening to this one on repeat. All right. Let's listen to Shine On right now. I love this song. I actually run to it. It's on my running playlist. So thank you for providing me with that. We'll listen to the tune. We'll come back with Bedouin Soundclash. This is Shine On featuring The Skins. It's on Indie88. Bedouin Soundclash, Shine On, featuring The Skins, and I'm in studio right now with Bedouin. Hey guys,
hello.
with Jay and Eon, we're back. Yes. So there are quite a few collaborations on this new album. How did those come about? Specifically, this one we just played with The Skins.
So we've known The Skins for a really long time. They played their third show ever in 2011. We were playing in London, and they opened a show. They were kids. They still are kids.
They're pretty young, but
yeah, they're young. And so are we. And
yeah, you are.
Yeah, we're kids.
Right, of course.
Anyway, so yeah, we've known them for quite a long time, and that's kind of how we approach collaborations with Bedouin. Is we want to have some sort of personal connection. Whether we're like huge fans or it's because we know them personally, and we want to, I think that's a really important chemistry to have when you're doing a real collaboration. Mm-hmm. So, wrote this song and was like, it has a sort of like UK house, like early 90s house, like piano line. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't sure at first it was going to be a Bedouin song. So, but anyways, I thought maybe Marcy will do something with it. She's like, I think this is a Bedouin song. Eon's like, this is a Bedouin song. So
yes.
It became a Bedouin song.
Yeah, and it may be one of my top 5 favorite.
Wow.
Yes, I would say. I love that song. Okay, so you also collaborated with Aimee Interrupter. We're going to play that song coming up next. But how did that happen? So you have a personal connection with Aimee?
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing, really.
Yeah, the same thing.
Yeah. Like, we got connected to play some shows with them in California a few years ago, which was amazing, just as they were starting to take off. And we just formed a nice relationship. And then,
well, we met them before that though, because we were the Kevin Lyman from the Warped Tour when they did the last run. Asked if we wanted to be the surprise band in Toronto.
Uh-huh.
So we played in the Interrupters. Usually he tries to line up bands that are sort of similar, like when we were touring in 2005, whatever. I don't know. I was gonna say,
Who even knows anymore?
Yeah. So we actually met them. They played right next to us that day in Toronto. And that's when we met them, and we love their music and just think that what they're doing is awesome and such a great revival.
Yeah.
And also their own thing too. So yeah, and then later on we toured with them, and we thought Aimee would be perfect for this track. It's like that, got that rock steady ska thing, and they kill that. So they graciously agreed.
Well, before we play the song, you guys are known for bringing different genres of music together, right? Mm-hmm. Like you like 2 different sounds, putting them together. That's been your thing. How do you keep doing that in 2022?
You mean because that's done a lot in 2022?
Well, it is. But it's also kind of, it started with you. Like, you guys have been doing it for so long. You brought 2 different sounds together. That's like your thing, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you keep doing that now that there's all these new genres and subgenres and all that? You're still doing it.
I think the biggest before, just like for the sake of bringing things together, it's always, I think Eon and I wanted to create our own language and our own world as Bedouin Soundclash. And, in other projects you would do the same thing. But so that if no one except the group of you or the 2 of you or yourself could make what you're making, I think that's when you're doing something that's worthwhile.
Yes.
So we have our natural inclinations that are always going to, I could do something very different and someone will be like, oh, sounds like Bedouin, right? I've heard that a lot. So... And I think it's really different. So I think once you start, for us, I feel like we've gone on long enough that we're more or less trying to create our own language. And I think other bands have their own language, and that's what makes it interesting, is your own personal take on it. And no one could duplicate it if you're being true to yourself. So
nice. I like that answer. Great. Well, we want to see you guys. So are you going to be coming here at some point to play
We will be.
a show for us?
We will be.
We're working on it right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the New Year, early New Year. Hopefully.
Early New Year?
That's the idea. So
Okay, so just here, or is there a tour? Are you allowed to say anything? I'm getting eyes right now.
we're
No, we're
figuring
not.
it all out.
Oh,
There's a
all
lot.
right.
There's a
There will
lot
be
of people working on it right now.
There's a lot of
so
people
many
working
people
on
working
it?
on it.
All right. Do you guys need my help?
Yeah, we do.
Plus-
Yeah, we actually
What can
would
I-
love
what
your
can I
help.
do? What can I
We'll
do?
tell you afterwards. We can't
Okay.
tell you on air. But,
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, no, but we will be playing in the new year, very early on in the new year.
Good.
In the
Good.
first couple months of the new year.
Good. And you guys will be able to jam and everything with you being in Vancouver, Eon being in Pickering.
We'll
You're
try
good?
to figure it
We'll
out.
figure it
All right.
Yeah.
You always do.
Yeah,
That's right.
We'll Zoom.
All right. Does Zoom jam happen?
The Zoom show is gonna happen.
The
too.
Zoom
There you
show.
go.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want any more of those. We want you
Oh my
live.
God.
Jay, Eon, Bedouin, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for having us,
We love you
Melanie.
guys. We're going to play this song now. This is the latest with Aimee Interrupter. It's called Walk Through the Fire. It's Bedouin Soundclash on Indie88.